Let's go. All right, here we go. We're going to try it again. The first week.
Wow. Recording. Folks, if you're listening to this at home, if this is the cold opener, it's 11:15 and Michael has just spent 25 minutes on break fighting for his life to do things with his dog. And he's literally putting a shark in front of the camera right now. He said he couldn't get the words out and he said, "All right, this is it. We'll do it." And then immediately fumbled his sentence. So if you guys get to watch any of that as a cold opener, welcome to the party, baby. You're in for the good stuff.
Here we go. I'm cooked.
16th time's the charm. Let's get her going.
Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where unlike Jagex, we do wish you have a happy Pride. I'm Michael.
And I'm Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. We're a podcast that talks pretty exclusively about old school RuneScape. We are going to get off on tangents and talk a lot about a lot of other things. Like today, for example, we're going to talk about RuneScape, but mainly RuneScape adjacent stuff, not like game updates and things. But we're no stranger to talking about a game update every now and then. If you're not new around here, welcome. Happy Pride. Hello to all of you. I hope all of you are having a delightful June, except Mod North. Michael, my friend, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. For those of you who don't know, we record on Sunday, and the day of the week today is Sunday, and it also happens to be the exact Father's Day. Well, that sounded weird.
What?
It's Father's Day in the US. I don't know.
Michael's had a long day, you guys.
You know, I made the analogy earlier, and I'm going to make it now just for shits and giggles.
I'll correct you again if that's fine.
Sure, whatever. For all of you who don't know, and that's everyone, I was not supposed to be here today. You guys were going to get a special solo Oxie episode, and it was just going to be him. He was just going to be talking to you, and it wasn't supposed to be me because, like, I thought I wasn't going to be available. But my son's asleep and my wife isn't feeling good, so she went to bed early. And that means Michael has the night off. And so I casually said that in the booth, and Oxie's like, "Get your ass in here." So it feels like when you call out of work, but then they call you in because they're busy. And they're like, "Hey, can you come in?" You're like, "Nah, it's my day off." And they're like, "Yeah, but we really need you. We're slammed." That's how it feels. But it's fine because I love my job. And I love Oxie so much, and I love you guys. Xpwaste is awesome.
So I feel it is the total opposite. I feel it is, hey, I'm submitting this time off request, and I said, hey, yeah, that's fine. I'll either find a guest or do it by myself. Got too tired and just said, whatever. I'll do a 1-hour solo episode. We'll call it an XP-based community spotlight, where we'll bitch about Pride, we'll talk about the top event, and then we'll do all the patron community question, fun question, achievement of the week stuff, and then we'll just call it good, quick 45 minutes to an hour. When I tell you I was ready, I have an internet window pulled open right now with Patreon, Spotify, YouTube, and the achievement of the week Google Doc, and I have the fun question because contrary to Michael's belief from our 4-year anniversary, I do read all of the fun questions that come into the Discord. So I already knew the fun question we were going to do. It is not the equivalent of your boss calling and saying, hey, come in, we're slammed. It's the employee saying, hey, I know I requested this day off. I'm going to come into work anyway. Or I'm going to linger outside the door in my uniform with my name tag on, just looking and go, the entire time. That's what the equivalent is. And I'm like, okay, get in here and record. And he's like, well, if you're going to call me into work, I guess.
I think the misconception is that you think I want to be here. I do want to be here.
Say, I know you,
but
I was
also really looking forward to a night off, and I was very, very conflicted because as soon as my wife went to bed, I was going to come in here and play RuneScape, and probably be in the VC with somebody else, like see if Fear or Ralph wanted to go raid or something. But then I was like, if I have time to go raid and be in VC and actually log into RuneScape, I have time to record the podcast. So that's why I was like, I guess.
This furthers my theory that Michael is terrified of me doing the podcast by myself.
No, I
Michael
fully
is
trust you.
terrified. I have
trust
done
you.
solo episodes with TMD or with other guests, and if Michael is available, he is in the recording booth the entire time. So
I love the show.
He'll be there like on his AirPods, and he'll just like unmute and start talking shit during the break.
Well, I also have massive FOMO, so
he does.
It doesn't help.
We are aware he does have pretty big FOMO, but you're here now, bitch. Welcome to the party.
I'm here. Hi.
How's your day been? Today's Father's Day in the US, the day for all fathers. And Michael is our resident father here on Xpwaste. How's the day been, big dog?
It's been really good. I had a great Father's Day. My entire family came over for breakfast this morning. Got my dad out of bed before the time hit double digits. And my in-laws came. My best friend, who I've known since I was 5 years old, was in town. And I went and picked him up this morning. And we spent the entire day together. And my kid got to play with his cousins literally all day. I think from 9 o'clock this morning until like at least 4:30 today, which is such a great day for him because he loves his cousins. And we had barbecue. That was really good. I got hooked up. So we went into a barbecue joint that we've never gone to before. And as soon as we walk in, the guy at the front's like, have you guys ever been here before? We say no. And it's just me, my brother, and my best friend, Micah. And we say, no, we've never been here before. He's like, cool. So he turns around and like waves at the guy cutting the meat. He's like, let me get 3. This guy brings over 3 slices of brisket. We didn't even ask. We're eating the brisket. He turns back around and is like, let me get 3 more. He brings over 3 ribs and 3 cuts of their jalapeno sausage and just lays them out in front of us. Like, okay. Starting off on the good foot here. We're starting off chef's kiss.
I was gonna order anyway, dude. You don't need to convince me. I was here to eat.
Yeah, and it's good. Like, I haven't been to a lot of different barbecue places in Texas, so usually my experience up until this point has been hit or miss. Sometimes the barbecue is really good. Sometimes you get like really dry and chewy meat. I don't know. I haven't found just like an average barbecue place. This place was good. Very, very good meat. And so the reason I got hooked up was not only just the samples, but I ordered a 1 pound baked potato, and it's supposed to have like a 1/4 pound of brisket on top, loaded, cheese, sour cream, butter, all that kind of stuff. And then I ordered a side of ribs, 2 ribs on the side. And I also wanted creamed corn. So that was going to be my entire meal. I was expecting to pay no less than $30 for this food. And so the same guy who gave us the samples turns around to the same coworker. He's like giving him mouth signs, like mouthing words like, I don't know how to ring this up. Not that he's incompetent. I just don't think he cares. And so he's like, I don't know how to do this. And the other guy goes, I don't know either. So he looks back at the register and he tells me very quietly, he says, you're going to swipe your card and you're going to walk away. I was like, okay. He rang it up for $16. All of the food. I'm pretty sure he put like an a la carte potato and a 1/4 pound of brisket and called it a day. And I got to eat everything else. So for like $16.50 after tax, $17, I got $30 worth of food. And I wanted to tip him. This is a rare occasion where I was standing at a register and I was going to tip them, but they don't have electronic tips and I don't carry cash. So I felt so bad. Like literally after I swiped my card, it dinged. I didn't swipe it, I tapped it. So I tapped my card, it dinged, I signed, and it said receipt. I was like, no, where's the tip? So I didn't get to tip him. Felt really bad, but I'll be going back. Not expecting the same treatment, but hot damn, dude. Like, you save boy some money, I'll come back.
It's hard to beat that. It really is. It's hard to beat that.
Fear wants to know what the name of the place is. Fear, I'll text you after this. But yeah, it was so good. It was really good. I have lunch for tomorrow because I was not able to eat all of that food. No way in hell I was going to eat that. The barbecue sauce was pretty good. It didn't really need it, but sometimes I don't think they put enough butter. So sometimes the potato's too dry. You just lather some barbecue sauce on it. The ribs fall off the bone. Didn't need barbecue sauce. That's when at least for me, That's when you know barbecue is good. Oh, Kyrandia says give it an online review. That's a great idea. I think I'm gonna drop him 5 stars and a nice review. That's when you know barbecue is good, is when you don't need the sauce. When the meat and the seasoning and the flavor is on point, you don't need to doll it up with sauce. Mm, good stuff. But other than barbecue, no, I had a great day. It was a wonderful day.
Oh yeah.
How about you?
My day has been, it's also been pretty solid. It's been a pretty solid weekend. So Father's Day today, we took my dad to a flea market and then we went out to lunch for a little while. So got to spend the day with him for a little bit. That was always nice. Always nice to see him, my dad. Hi, Dad. We actually talked about one of the episodes we were doing. So it was early in the morning and I wasn't sure how we were going to do it. And I had mentioned that like one of our episodes recently kind of popped off. And he said, was it the sailing blog one? And I went, why do you know that? I'm like, why do you know that that was the last episode? He like gets notifications on his phone from Spotify, I think, or whatever, when the episodes come out. And as a patron supporter for as long as it has been, he'll like get notifications when we go live. And when we used to record our extra episodes, he'd get notifications. He'd be like, what are these extra episode things? Am I supposed to watch these? I'm like, you're not going to get it. It's Michael in the Inferno. You're not going to understand any of it. Although I will say, God, I don't remember what. I think he saw me posted on Twitter when I got my Infernal cape. He saw me post about people talking about the intro. And then he listened to the episode and called me later that night and was like, what was that video I saw earlier of you killing some demon and crying? What was that? What was I watching earlier? I'm like, dude, we don't have enough time to get into it, but it was big. And he's like, well, good. I'm glad it was big and good. I'm like, hell yeah. So I spent time with him. That was nice. And then we were going to hang out at my sister's and then go to my aunt's house. The same aunt that does Thanksgiving every year. We're going to go over there for a little Father's Day thing on my mom's side of the family because, when Stop by Ma's is open, that's her theoretical restaurant name. She wants to open one day. When Stop by Ma's is open and I'm in town, might as well show up. I've also got food for tomorrow because if you guys aren't from the US, culturally across the United States, our portions are gigantic, not only because we are just kind of a fat country of people, but the whole hospitality of like, we are making enough food for you to take with you when you go home. That's how we roll here in the US. So I have a whole plate of stuff that I'm going to eat tomorrow for lunch. Pulled pork, our family recipe chicken, all this other fun nonsense. Before we went over there though, I'm at my sister's house and I'm sitting in the backyard with her and she is like, is that a baby duck? And a baby duck was in our backyard. We don't live near water, relative enough for a duck to be there. Like we live far enough away where it's weird that a baby duck was there. Everywhere that would take a baby duck was closed because it was 3:00 on Father's Day on a Sunday. So no rescue places were open. And the ones that were at capacity because it's baby season for waterfowl. So they have too many of them. We have a friend who used to work with birds. And we also ended up calling the Detroit Zoo because I was just like, they're like, yeah, for guest admissions, press 1. For customer service, press 2. And I called and I'm like, this is not a customer service question. I have a baby duck and I don't know what to do with it. And the woman on the phone was like, oh, we get that all the time. She directed me to a website that we were already on. And I'm like, yeah, we've called a bunch of people and like nobody's open. She's like, honestly, go take it to a pond that has other ducks and like ducks with ducklings and it will just adopt it. And that's what our friend told us too. So that's what we did. My sister and I and my mom, we went to this pond like 10 miles away from the house and we walked around until we found a mother duck with like a dozen ducklings. And my sister just like let the duck out in the water, this teeny little tiny baby duck. And I'm like, we got to walk away. We got to walk away. We got to leave because we can't sit and watch or mom is going to freak out. Not our mom, duck mom is going to freak out. So we're just going to walk away. And yeah, the lady at the zoo told me I was a duck dad despite not having any children. So that's been my Father's Day. Only other notable thing, I mean, not only other notable thing, but this weekend I had my division championship for fencing. and I ended up competing in what turned out to be senior mixed instead of men's and women's. We didn't have enough people for either weapon, so we just combine it, put them together. I ended up I tied for third overall, which like is cool, but I was probably going to tie for third anyway because there were only like 4 or 5 people signed up. So for the men's division anyways, either way, I won this really cool dagger as a prize for getting on the podium. So that was pretty cool. I got this cool dagger. The winner of the Michigan division in both men's and women's get a decorative sword. So maybe one day I'll win myself a sword, but I highly doubt I'm ever going to win Michigan division in Saber. There are too many kids who are way more athletic than I am and eventually will become a lot better. Like if you're outplaying me at 14, I would hate to see what you look like at 19 after 5 years of fencing the weapon. So I don't think I'm ever going to get a decorative sword, but I have this really cool, it's not even decorative. This thing is sharper than shit. It's like serrated on one side too. Like it's a whole big thing, but it's pretty neat. And then I also wanted to bring it up because I won my Iron Man award. And this is the only niche group of people that would think it is funny. I am the Michigan Division Iron Man champion. So suck it, Gray Helms. Who's the Iron Man now? And you win this award in the Michigan Division for competing in the most local events. So all like different weapons are considered different events. So if there is a tournament, there is a foil, saber, and epee event. So I have just fenced in the most individual events of any man in the state. And then one of my teammates won the Iron Woman, and then my other teammate won the Iron Kid. So my club swept. Technically, the one kid tied with another kid from the other side of the state. But 2 W's, and not even like close either. Like I think my one teammate had 16 tournaments. I had 13, and I took all of October and November off, so I would have had close to 16, 17 if I competed and everything. I had 13 as I blew everybody else out of the water, and then the kid I think tied with 4. And there's not many youth events that happen. So club sweep, we'll take it. But it was fun. It was a good time. Yeah, we've only talked about IRL. Has anything notable happened in RuneScape so we don't lose too many people this early in the episode?
No.
I think the only thing that I've done of note we'll probably talk about here soon, and that's I just did learner tops, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll touch on that here in a little bit. It's not been a particularly busy week for Michael and I in RuneScape. This episode again still feels kind of weird, so I promise just hold on tight, folks.
I guess the most notable thing, so I edited this week, but I don't really remember what I was doing. Maybe it's like a mixture between Slayer and runecrafting. I'm still, like I said it in the last episode, I was like, I'm going to have 89 this week. I'm going to have 90 next week. Like probably by the time this episode comes out, I'll have 90 runecrafting and we'll start making some soul runes. But I also could flip the script and get 95 Slayer. So
could be.
Who really knows? I've been kind of like AFKing both on the side because they're really like at this point, I like AFKing both of them. I'm only 400k away from the next runecrafting level, but I'm only 280k from 95 Slayer. So it could happen, but like this week, and I don't know if it's just me, sound off in the comments. The worlds have been very, very laggy. Like
they've been bad, haven't they?
Yeah. Like I have an Abyssal Demons task right now that I'm doing currently. I tried one Sire kill because I was like, I'm feeling inspired. I'll go kill Sire.
Inspired.
I'll stand there. Inspired? Yeah, I get it. I'll go kill Sire. I died immediately to the acid pools because I couldn't walk back and forth. It was so laggy. I just stood there and took acid damage. It was really annoying. So I did one kill. After hopping around for about 5 minutes, mind you, because I'm a little baby and I want to go to the bottom right room because that's where I have my tiles marked.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always full because I think that's like the most popular room. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go to a room I don't have the tiles marked in just to die. So the servers have been bad. So I have like a average amount of good clicks counter. I don't really know how it works. Somebody told me to download it, and it's just a percentage in the top right of the screen. And normally it's at like 95, sometimes it says 100, but normally it's green. This whole week it's been in the red. So like 70% of my clicks are good. It got down to about 48% at one point. It's been nuts. So anytime I've felt like, oh, I can go and do content, I'm like, but I've had really bad connections. And it's in every world too. US East seems to be better, but even then, not great. So no raids this week, no crazy content. The most crazy content I did was Royal Titans, and that's not crazy. So yeah, it's been a pretty uneventful week, to say the least.
I have 2 RuneScape things that I think would be interesting to bring up. Nicole in the booth says that my dagger is called a Skiandu, and you wear it with a kilt, which is pretty cool. You put it in your kilt sock. So if I ever have a kilt, I will wear it with the kilt sock. I agree. The worlds have sucked. My Wi-Fi has also kind of sucked. I was in a 5-man learner raid the other day at the TOB event, and I lost connection at P2, but I was still in VC, and I kept like cutting in and out. So it was like, oh, no, what? Move, crap, oh! And I just kept getting like bombed by cabbages because I just could not move. It was rough. But that's a personal problem. The 2 RuneScape things that I would probably bring up, number 1, because I have been on the dating apps, I have found that explaining what RuneScape is still weird to me, because in my bio, I mentioned that I am a video game podcast host.
Oh,
and
you do?
Yeah, I do. I think my bio here. Let me read the entire thing. You can decide whether or not to put it in the podcast, Michael, because it's gonna piss.
It's going in the podcast.
It's gonna piss some people off. So brace yourself. Oxie hasn't changed his mind about a lot of things. So, therapist, video game podcaster, cat dad ×2. I just want to retire and work at the zoo. Can't bake to save my life, but will gladly cook you your favorite meal. Would rather eat glass than vote Republican. Those are the 4 sentences in my bio.
So it was almost a poem, right? That first one, that first line.
Kind of. Again. Therapist, podcaster, cat dad ×2.
I just want to work at a zoo.
I didn't think about it, but yeah, that could be a little bit of a poem. Maybe I could find something that rhymes with Republican to say about cooking. I don't know. Point is, I've had to explain what RuneScape is way too much because people ask. They're like, oh, what video game do you talk about? I'm like, haha, and I have met no one who knows what it is. She says no dinosaurs mentioned. Crazy you mentioned that. I've also talked way too much about dinosaurs to people who don't know what they are. I had a conversation with a match earlier where they asked me, what's your favorite dinosaur? And I said, I have a lot. And they said, tell me about them. And I said, okay, that was your mistake. So I'm like, well, T-Rex is obviously great, but I've always loved Iguanodon. Eutyrannus is super cool. Quetzalcoatlus, technically not a dinosaur, is super cool as well. Please don't let me continue. And they were like, I got to level with you. Voltoro said unskippable cutscene initiated. the match was like, the match was like, I've never heard of any of those, but I appreciate the passion. I'm like, yippee. Then they followed it up with, so what's your video game podcast about? I'm like, wow, I've never looked more cool in my life. Here's a bunch of dinosaurs you've never heard of. And also here's a quick and dirty description of old school RuneScape. By the way, I'm almost 30. It's super cool. Nicole says, try being femme presenting and having to explain that shit. You look like a literal alien. Oh, yeah. It's just been fun little hijinks there, but it's always been received well. I've learned how to explain this game like decently well. It's a medieval point and click MMO that people used to play when we were kids, and now I just still kind of play it. And then it gets the same kind of like, oh, haha, that's cool. And then I follow it up with like, yeah, I went to England for a convention and my show paid for it. And they're like, holy shit, the show's like real? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty neat. But the other thing that I have that's RuneScape related, Michael and I went to RuneFest several months ago, and we got these rucksacks, and I had to use it yesterday to go home because I went home last night to see my dad for Father's Day, all the whole shebang. And I didn't want to bring a big bag, and my normal bag I take had fencing gear in it, and it was gross. So I said, I'll take my RuneScape rucksack. Took everything out. Forgot that I bought a goddamn grab bag from the charity
Yeah.
tent. So I'm going to open this up and just see what's inside of it, because I
Let's
don't
go.
know. I've not actually opened it. I think it's memorabilia from past Rune Fests, if I'm being honest. So let's see. We have a Tiz Talk Jad pin. That's
Nice.
pretty cool. What else do we have? It looks like we have an agility skill chip. It looks like a skill chip from a past RuneFest. It looks like an agility skill chip. That's pretty neat. We have an old RuneFest wristband. I don't know what year this would have been from. It doesn't say, but it's an old RuneFest wristband. That's pretty neat. We have this sticker that says Ucore. I don't know what this is. If anybody knows, I don't know if that's the company or that was a thing RuneScape did for a while. I don't know. And then finally, we have this pretty cool orange RuneFest lanyard. I don't know if any of these were from the same RuneFest, but they weren't from the one that we went to. So I think the whole point of the grab bag was like old things from older RuneFests. That's a pretty cool grab bag. I forgot the name of the charity. It was months ago, but you guys are awesome. Because if you listen and you're at RuneFest, you know what charity I'm talking about. They rule. Nicole said Shirley socks. No socks, unfortunately. So yeah, that's been my week in RuneScape. I feel like I am becoming one of those podcast hosts who just slowly stops playing the game. I promise that's not true. I have been busy and maliciously burnt out on the main account. And I literally, every time I listen to the show, I'm like, oh no, I promise that's not where this is going, you guys. Oh, I'm fishing blondes on the Iron Man right now throughout this episode. So if you see me look over, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be fishing blondes for a while. I got 15,000 more blongy to get through. So I only have like 200 cooked. I ain't got no food. So, you know, you got to feed the boys.
Are you going to let me cook them for you? Or are you going to cook them?
No, I'll cook them. Surely I need that for a diary, right? Surely I need cooking for a diary.
You need 90 cooking for a Varrock.
So I'll probably get some diary requirements done or try to. We'll see. Anyways.
Oh, I do have a story. It's not RuneScape related, so we can go back to not talking about the game. If you're an avid like video watcher, you'll probably notice that my glasses are different. They have this blue reflection on them. It's supposed to be like anti-glare and blue light filtering.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of the blue light entering the glasses, it just reflects off this way. It's really annoying. I don't know if you can see my eyes at certain angles or if you just see the reflection of my monitor. But all that to say, my other glasses broke as I was cleaning them. So I was this. I had my shirt. I was cleaning it. And it just like snapped off right at where the glass part attaches to the middle piece. So frustrated. And luckily, I have these, but I hate them. And so these are jank as hell because and you'll notice they have like these big rubber things on the ears. It's because I broke these also, and I have to have these big rubber things on them to keep them on my face.
Perfect.
So I don't know how long I'll be wearing these glasses, but probably for a while until I get paid again, which is this week, and then maybe I can order some new glasses.
Hell yeah. While you were telling that story, I opened a message on Bumble. And in the questions of that message were, what's your podcast about? I'm just going to answer that later because I'm recording it right now. So it's
Thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, I was listening to you. You broke your glasses trying to clean them, and you had these, and then you're gonna get new glasses because those are also broken. Don't worry, baby girl, I'm paying attention. Also ADHD. I can do more. I can do more than one thing at once, which is why I can talk and play this game at the same time. Things have happened this week, Michael. Maybe not to us necessarily in RuneScape, but to our community, and some have been good, some have been bad. Do you want to start with the bad first, so we can talk about the good?
Sure.
You know, what happened? I think it was on Friday. What happened on Friday? Was it on Friday? Did it happen on Friday?
It might have been. It was like towards the end of the week. I think it was actually on Wednesday because people expected another message to come out on Friday and then for them just to peace off for the weekend. But
yeah, you're right. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. It came out pretty early in the week. What happened, Michael?
So it turns out there was a Jagex employee who spoke anonymously with a news source, and come to find out, they canceled the Pride event in Old School RuneScape that they've been doing. I want to say since like 2020. This would have been the 5th year in a row.
It would have been like 2022.
It's like 2021,
21, 22, something like that. Yeah, it's been about 3 years of Pride events. Is the Pride Grove or whatever it's called by Gertrude's house is just more people have been showing up to it, which is cool.
Oh, neat. But yeah, just a bunch of like corporate bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. Corporate America. It's not even corporate America.
J-Mods be snitching for a good cause. I mean, it's not corporate America, but it does definitely feel like bending the knee to right-wing American conservative politics is what it is. True. So Tiki says the memes on Reddit were great. Some of the memes on Reddit were pretty fucking funny. Some of the ones that I saw were pretty funny. And oh no, they said Tiki sent one for a ham event. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Man.
The frustrating part for me is that come to find out, everything was almost done. Like pretty much done for these events to happen. But they're just like, no, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, it was so from what I have seen, I believe somebody came out to, I think it was Pink News was what it was. Pink News shown evidence that they cut the Pride event, and Mod North came out and made comments about it. So Mod North, apparently he posted a message on the company's internal message board stating that RuneScape and Old School RuneScape would not be running any 2025 Pride Month content so that developers could instead focus more on what players wanted. Many members of the staff pushed back against this, stating that the workaround for the annual Pride event was either already complete or straightforward to implement in-game, which is annoying. I also heard it was like roadmapped. Like it wasn't like they're wording it as this like tiny little passion project by a couple of J-mods. Like I'm pretty sure the shit was on the roadmap.
Right. Which was being treated like one of the holiday events, which they do.
Because it is a holiday event. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. This wasn't just like a one-off, like, you know how they have like game jams where you get to spend free time doing something else. This is not a game jam thing. This is a holiday event.
Mm-hmm.
That they've been doing consistently for the last 2 years.
Yeah. So the article follows up. I'm just reading it right off of Reddit and Pink News. In a follow-up Q&A session convened to address staff concerns, the CEO, accompanied by the chief people and culture officer, made it clear that the decision to roll back Pride content was related to the current political climate, and that the choice to discontinue Pride was to avoid backlash. Fuck you. Congratulations, Mod North. I'm so glad you avoided your backlash. I hope most of the community is no longer a fan of you. He said that, I want to be clear, the decision for this is with me. I own it, which is why we are saying have a good day. Have a good Pride Month to everyone but Mod North. Moth Poet says backlash unlocked. Yup.
Right.
He said, I'm fully responsible for it. I published the announcement with speed in mind, and this weekend's messages and questions made that clear. He said that, I understand that RuneScape is precious because it's a safe space, it's an escape from reality, and the reality that we find ourselves in is changing. It's getting stranger, more troubling, less moral, I would argue. Games and studios are being canceled because of content that is perceived to be woke or representative. The pendulum is swinging back in the way that we didn't expect. Fuck you. I don't know how badly I can stress this. I don't even know if these F words are going to be censored. Fuck you. The game is going too woke. That's how you know you have a closet. Like, I don't want to be that much of a dick. To me, that sounds like that's how you know you have a closeted bigot. I'm sorry. You're using the term woke to describe a game that has been super popular. Relative in the MMO space, arguably one of the second or third most popular MMOs in the last decade, if not all time. And you're talking about, oh, suddenly now woke is a problem. Fuck you, big dog.
It doesn't feel like in the year of our great Lord 2025 that having a Pride event is woke. Maybe if this was like 2015 Jagex, but like, dog, it's been 10 years since the time when it would be perceived as woke.
You want to know what I would have said to someone in 2015 if they said having a Pride event was woke, Michael?
The same thing you just said.
Fuck you, big dog. He said, given the climate, the safe havens, quote unquote, within RuneScape and OSRS are needed more than ever before, and therefore he has to ensure the business is protected against those that would wish us harm. This is a difficult balance that the decision was trying to find, and the way I communicated missed the mark. Your decision missed the mark, you dumb motherfucker. Huh? It's a safe space, so we're not gonna acknowledge a segment of the community? Huh? I understand that some of the things they do during Pride Month are kind of silly. In the past, when they've held Pride events, you know the dagger? It's like a Halloween award, like the dagger, the bloody dagger or something. Yeah. It's a prop. It's a Halloween prop that you make. They disable you from wearing it during the month of June.
Really?
It's a fun little thing that I learned last year. At least when the J-mods who aren't closeted MAGA Republicans in fucking Britain for some reason, why are you falling for that shit? Don't do that.
Come on, the man. Presidential administration cares what Jagex does.
It's not even that. It's the greater culture of a whole of this whole right-wing fucking woke bro nonsense. Get out of here. Miss me with that shit, dude. Like, I get
if we didn't give you a trigger warning that this episode was going to get a little political, yeah. Because the last time we got a little political,
last time
it was our most commented on episode.
We got very political, and the comment section was a hoot for me. Michael
Do you
was
think they're still here?
I hope so. Part of me, I hope so. Part of me hopes that the content is that good that they're like,
surely it's been.
They're like, I hate 8 months. I hate that big hair, big bearded queer on the podcast and his stupid opinions on everything except for RuneScape. God, I love the way he talks about RuneScape. I hope most of them are still around.
It's been 8 months, and they're like, surely this is a good episode to come back to. Nope.
Could you imagine this is the first time back? They left some like borderline hate comment on my episode or my rant back in November. And then they're like, it's been a while, I'll come back. And then I'm like, hey, fuck you for being a bigot. And they're like, all right, never mind.
Oh gosh.
I'm going back to going back to Ben Shapiro's podcast. I don't have time for this shit. Oh my God. It's annoying. He confirmed that the OSRS Pride mini quest has been discontinued for 2025, and the Tales of Pride event will return to RuneScape, but without any newly developed content, stating the content is now controversial in a way it didn't used to be, and that controversy now brings more risk than it did previously, risk that I'm personally responsible to protect against. All right, motherfucker, I need you specifically, John Bellamy, Mod North, I need you to look me in the eyes, okay? Being like us has always been controversial. Being even the slightest bit queer has always brought about a risk, right? The only reason you think you fucking care is because a small group of right-wing bigoted asshole men are going to leave nasty comments about, oh no, RuneScape can't be fuck. All right? How about you be gay for a while? Tell me how well that works out for you. You think it goes so well, like, oh, I can't receive comments as a CEO. I have to protect the company. Fuck you. All right? So there's no official Pride event in the game. That said, there is something going on. Y'all know of Renderscape? Renderscape is a content creator. Look at that. I opened up Blue Sky, first person that pops up.
Let's go.
So right now, Renderscape is holding a community Pride event on Saturday, June 21st at 8 p.m. UK time. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for the American boys out there.
Put it on your calendars.
Put it on your calendars. I don't know what exactly they are going to do, but people are pissed, and it's actually been going really well. People have been super pissed off on most of the social media that I see. It's going to come as a surprise to you guys that I don't get a lot of directly right-wing content. So all the shitty comments I've seen have been from, the cool ones dunking on your dog shit bigoted opinions. But yeah, Pridescape, I believe it's from the Rainbow Road family is their whole business. So go follow Renderscape on Twitter and Blue Sky, and there's going to be information there. We'll fucking link them in the description or something. So yeah, June 21st, that's going to be the closest thing to a Pride event we get. So let's just blow that shit up. I don't know. We talked about maybe doing our own. I thought about it, and then I was like, when the fuck are we going to plan that? When am I feasibly? I barely have time to log into RuneScape these days. When am I feasibly going to have time to coordinate an event? So June 21st, go there. I don't know where it's going to be in game, but check the major population centers.
Is there a link for people to see details?
Go follow them on social media, because at the moment that I'm looking at, no, it's pinned to Renderscape's Blue Sky account. I don't even know what world it's going to be on, but whatever. Join the Discord, figure it out. I'm sure they've got a Discord somewhere.
Cool.
Go check that shit out. And if not, just hop around to major population centers until you see a really big conglomeration of gay Scapers.
Or straight allies. Listen.
Whatever. That's fine. It's okay. We'll you get the rainbow thumbs up this week.
I'm not differently oriented, okay?
Yeah, I should bring that back. Differently oriented and pissed off M17 is gonna be my new Discord name.
This should be your name in Discord again.
Yeah, good God. Yeah, it's irritating that Jagex, who by all accounts has come Nicole says, quick, update the Bumble. Fuck you. Jagex, for all intents and purposes, has been pretty good about this stuff. The Pride events, all holiday events that Jagex does are a little corny. I don't think there's a way to avoid the fact that the holiday events are corny. But
actually, this is a child's game.
I was gonna say, well, it's not played by any children that I know. But but the humor is evolved with the corniness. Like the Easter event, it was corny and stupid. The Christmas event is corny and stupid. That's what all of the events
a good way.
are. Yeah, but it's like a charming corny. And the Pride event last year was, despite obviously still being a little corny, I feel like whenever Gilbert talks, it is a little corny. But the event last year where you had to help the trans knight join the white knights, that was great. And you got to fucking read the letters from his family. That was awesome. That was a kick-ass Pride event. Again, still a little corny when they do the cutscenes and shit, but that's just what a holiday event is. I don't even know where I was going with that, but man, they've done very well with not being shitty about a lot of these things. They've done very well. We have come a long way. When they updated all the guards, and they've diversified a lot of the main NPCs in the game to kind of represent people that aren't just white dudes, So we've come a long way. And then to just take this, not even step back, but to deliberately fall down the chute in chutes and ladders, back to the fucking early stages of the game. That's dumb. That's a stupid decision, And I get it. You're a CEO. You might not have the empathy for the rest of us, but JMods, we love you, and we're on your side with this one. I'm sorry your boss had to have a shitty opinion about it, and who knows? Maybe I'm popping off for absolutely no reason. I have learned to kind of just blame the CEO indefinitely, because this is a big hit, big dog. I'm sorry, this is a big hit. Jax Pride said it's what Target did. Target's Pride merch, I wish they would just call me a slur at this point. I would be less offended if they just sold shirts that called me a slur than had the audacity to wear whatever they sell as Pride merch. It's not good. It's not good. And I'll stand by that. It's not good,
Okay. Here's a question for you. And this was it might have been posed as like a satirical comment, but I think it's worth an actual discussion.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of events, they have Halloween, they have Easter, they have Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas and Easter are religious events.
Mm-hmm.
Some people maybe don't see it that way. Maybe you celebrate Easter because you like chocolate and you like candy and bunnies are cool. But like
we call that
lot of the,
we call that secular. The secular celebration.
Yeah. So like you have the secular and you have the religious, but you can't have one without the other because there will be people who call it Resurrection Day and not Easter. So, and Christmas is the same. Like here in the Bible Belt, they're like, happy birthday, Jesus. When I'm like, okay, Merry Christmas. But, they're kind of one and the same. So does this mean that we're not going to get Christmas events and Easter events because it's not what the players want? They don't want to waste time on these events so they can give us what we want? Or are they just going to single out Pride? Because if they just single out Pride and we get a Christmas event and we get a Halloween event, then we truly know that this was just a political stunt.
Oh, it 100% is, because as much as I think it would be funny for Mod North to double and then triple down, why does Giles look so squished? Someone's getting the Giles random event. And when you look at him straight on, it looks like he's a character. I'm sorry. He just looks like wide Giles right now, and it's driving me crazy. I'm sorry. What do you want from me? I kind of hope he doubles down and says, actually, yeah, all community events are a waste of time. We're going to cut out every single holiday event ever because we want to focus on what the players want. I think that would be a hysterical way to double down and avoid your so-called negative backlash, dipshit. But I know you're not going to, and it's almost certainly just going to be Pride. It's almost certainly just going to be Pride.
That's what I thought. And I don't know. Again, I thought it was most likely a satirical comment of, well, is this going to happen now? But one can hope. I mean, most of the people that on the comments of that Reddit thread were like, I don't even do events anyway. Like I don't do the holiday events at this point. So it doesn't matter to me. Literally, over the last couple of years, I've kind of phased out of like really caring about the holiday events as they come. And sometimes I get FOMO and it's like, oh, it's the week before it ends, or like it ends tomorrow. I need to get the music track. So when I get my music cape one day, I'm not like Oxie and have to wait another whole year.
I did it. I finally got my trim cape back. I got sunny side up. Finally got my trim cape back during the Easter event. It's back.
So you never have to do an event again. Unless they add another Easter track.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, Nicole said it's how you unlock music, so they'll never not do the events. Which so technically, because they can't lock players out of content, it's only ever gonna be Pride that they cancel. So what's the solution? We need some banger Pride music tracks. Mod Surma, get on it. We need some banger Pride tracks.
Oh, and then they'll actually do it.
Yeah, we need some banger Pride tracks. So consider that. That'd be pretty cool.
Can it just be like Pink Pony Club remixed into
we
old school Runescape's like sound profile?
We're 100% going to catch some sort of DMCA for that. The company would, not us specifically.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not going to sing it.
Yeah, no. I don't think they're going to be that shitty about it. But like, I feel like another company can't profit off that. But I don't know. You'll have to find a way to convey gay without words.
I honestly think this time next year, we're not even going to be talking about it because they're going to have a Pride event.
Oh my God, make it a show tune. Obviously. There it is. Never mind. You can convey gay without words. Make it a show tune. I lied. I've been in my fair share of musical theater productions to know. Make it a show tune. It'll go great.
I had so much hope for Mod North when all the shit came out about the pay increasing, and I thought his response was like moderately adequate when they got the backlash about the prices of membership going up and all the crazy stuff they surveyed to people. But I don't know, man. This just like knocks him down several pegs, like to the bottom, as a response to not having a Pride event, canceling it. You just, dude. Oxie said it best. So like, I don't know if I can put it into words better than Oxie did. So I don't know. It sucks. It really does. As a straight man, I'm disappointed. That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Annoying, stupid. But last time we had a political rant, what did we do, Michael? I had
Doubled
my
down.
soapbox. Well, we doubled down, but I had my soapbox. And then what did we do? I'm pretty sure we talked about a change to the Patreon. So we went on a
Oh.
political rant, and then we shilled.
And then we tried to
Tiki said
sell
we
out.
got rid of some assholes. Yeah. So we went on a political rant, and then we sold out. And that's what we're gonna do today. So
Let's go.
if you this is gonna be, I know I don't normally like selling out. However, if you think this decision from Mod North is fucking stupid, you should go to our merch store and buy our Pride merch. We're not going to make any money off it. We're going to donate it to a charity. I think last time we did the Trevor Project, and I think I said this before the show and somebody misheard me. Unless there is a charity that donates like funds like throwing bricks at transphobes, I think the Trevor Project is probably going to be what we do again. Unless there's one that you guys are like, oh, actually, this one's quote unquote way better. I don't know. But she said buy Pride merch, wear it to RuneFest. I think the Pride merch is pretty sick. And by the time this episode comes out, we may have actually expanded our stock because Michael and I were cooking before we hit record of some things that we could add to the merch shop. So buy that. And the money that you spend, literally all of it will be donated to charity. We make shitloads of money from the Patreon and from Spotify revenue. We don't really care that much about whatever. That makes me sound more conceited than I am. I don't care. Point is, we're not profiting directly. If you think the decision is stupid, go buy a Lord of Dread shirt or a Lord of Dread hat or some Varlamore Frog stickers. And
I don't think we have Lord of Dread hats. It's just not going to work. I mean, if you can make it work,
maybe we can figure it out. I don't know. I'm not the hat guy. I'm not a big hat guy, you know? I don't know. You look good in the hat. I'm not a big hat guy. So the merch is sick. Michael and I made it one day, and we had a blast making it. So there's some good stuff up there. Go check it out, and 100% of the proceeds are going to get donated.
It has a capybara on it.
It does, yeah. Which also shout out to Boon Babe, who has her own logo now. And I'm pretty sure is also pissed about the Pride event because the blue sky and the Twitter posts have been pretty fire.
She has Pride merch also.
Hell yeah, Boon Babe and the capybara logo. So real recognize real with that one. Good things have happened this week as well, correct?
Yeah, I was going to ask. You said there's bad things, there's good things. We started with the bad, quote unquote.
Well,
but what's the good?
The good. So this past week, because this whole episode was originally intended to be a community focused episode, we held a Theater of Blood learner event for the entire week. It started for some reason on Sunday at like 2:00 Eastern time. I don't know why the boss tutors picked that time. Like, I don't even know. Yeah, 2 a.m. East. Is that what I said? 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
You said 2:00 Eastern. So
yeah,
I was just clarifying
2 a.m. 2 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know how many of the Euro boys were awake at 7:00 in the fucking morning to start doing learner tobs. I don't know where that came from, but I gotta level with you. Other than the egregious start time, the event was spectacular.
Do you have the stats?
I do actually have the stats. Yes. So Shinkiro made this graphic earlier, and I don't know if it's already been posted. However, this week's Tob event, I think we had 13 like teachers, people who had a significant amount of KC, knew how to teach the rooms, and we like trusted to be instructors to take people. We had helpers who had a little over 50 KC who knew Tob but weren't necessarily teaching Tob. They were just there to be like the +1 support, you know, because like as a teacher, it does make a difference when you have more scythes. So like 1 teacher, 3 learners is pretty terrible in Tob, but like 1 or 2 teachers, 1 or 2 helpers, and then a learner or 2, that dynamic really does make a difference. Because helpers, if they don't have a scythe, they understand the raid well enough to do the damage they need to do. So we had a couple of helpers, and then we had a ton of people with 0 KC or less than 5 KC jump in and do Tob. So I've got the stats here. On this little graphic, right? It's a week-long event. Over 200 KC completed with learners under 5 KC. So under 5 KC, over 200 completions. We had over 50 people get at least one top KC. We had 23 people get their first KC, their first ever Theater of Blood KC. 23 got their first. And if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, it was a hard carry week, it was not. I was a part of the couple of teacher raids. I actually went with Cloud and Shinkiro, two of our boss tutors, who good choices to hire, by the way. I didn't do content with Eckhart. I think he's the only one I didn't get a chance to do a TOB with, which I'm disappointed because I don't think I've ever done content with Eckhart, unfortunately. But I've heard his raids also went very well. It was not like, hey, your job is to shut the hell up and drop brews from the cage. We would spend like several minutes explaining the rooms. Cloud and Shinkiro took most of the explanations, and I offered a little bit of input where possible because I was at that point I was at the helper role. But every single learner, when they were actually learning how to do this, understood the mechanics of every room. It was explained to them. We had whole Discord channels created in TNL for the support of this event. Like we had TOB resources channel, which is truly everything you could need. It's got paste bins for tile markers. It's got like basics, like, you know, here's a guide for each room because we already have a TOB learner guide in there. We have a basic gear setup. We have our own little thing that's like, in general, this is the quote unquote minimum we want people to have if you're going to run consistent TOBs, which is like, it's a bit of an older setup, but it's pretty basic, you know, Elite Void with the switches for the backpack and the trident and all that. And I ran raids with learners who had this exact setup and it went pretty well. They also like went into detail about having plugins. So like the Nilower plugin, the party defense tracker, special attack, party hub, all sorts of stuff. And these resources are just remarkable that we had. So all of these learners that we're talking about did not just get their bloody corpses dragged through TOB. I would hope if you got your first KC or you're actually learning TOB, that the people you went with were able to actually teach you. I heard no bad things about shitty teachers, and I am thrilled at that. This event has been remarkable. A couple of special shout outs. Most KC from a learner, and I think we considered a learner to have like under 20 KC or something. Most KC from a learner was Push Money, who got 33 KC in a week. Most KC from a helper was Such a Goose, one of our clan admins, who did 36 KC as a helper. Like I said, helpers are always appreciated. And then the coolest thing we did this week, some of our boss tutors pooled money together, and they put a bounty on a learner-only KC, where 4 or 5 players, or however many players, with under 20 KC had to complete the raid by themselves. And
that's really cool.
People actually did it. I was not in the VC, and I'm so disappointed I didn't hop in the VC on Thursday night. I was so tired after fencing. And I saw like 15 people were in chat, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to socialize. I don't have the energy to do TOB. They were watching the learners at Verzik get the goddamn KC, and I'm so upset I didn't get to watch it. So Reed Deasy, Taco Daddy, Paladingus, and Push Money claimed a 250 mil bounty for completing a TOB as all learners. It is cool as hell. Now, I did that myself. I have done my fair share of learner-only TOBs. If you guys were around back when I was learning TOB, we sent so many learners. And I don't mean like, oh, get carried by 3 people with scythes. I mean, it was like me, Scape, TMD, and a couple of our other friends who like all had tentacle whips. Everybody had a tent whip, and it was bad. We were like 90 attempts deep without a KC. And it was to the point where like Maiden was so hard because I was the freezer with 93 mage. Michael's making a face. I had to imbued heart before we went into Maiden, and I could not get hit because I couldn't brew, because I couldn't freeze if I brewed. So our learners were so fucking scuffed back in the day. It took us 92 attempts to get our first KC. So these guys spent pretty much the entire day chasing this bounty, and then the next day in the evening ended up getting it. I think that is a testament to the learners. Yes, you guys did awesome. I want to give special shout outs to the boss tutors and to the helpers and to anyone who taught Tob throughout the week. I have been with quote unquote teachers to do this high level content who really just make you feel like shit. You know, like I've been with people who like, oh, you've died. It's time to wipe. You know, and I still admittedly have a little bit of that mentality, right? I was in a raid with Cloud, Shinkiro. I think it was 2 other learners. I think it may have been, I was in the evening. I don't know if it was when I was with Curtains and Melvin, man. I don't remember. I died immediately in P2. I was on the northeastern side of Verzik and I got 3 crabs on me. And when I tried to run another one, you know, the attack comes not from the front, but from the side. And another crab popped out of nowhere, hit me for a 59. And while I was running away trying to brew, another crab hit me for like a 28. So I died immediately in P2. Surprisingly to no one, the learner also died immediately in P2. Cloud and Shinkiro did the entirety of P2 and P3 in a 2+2 or 2+3, and we got the fucking KC. That is a testament to you guys, yes, as players, but as teachers, for not having the we're just going to kill ourselves mentality. The amount of times we would get to Verzik, if you've never done it, P2 Verzik is a very overwhelming fight to learn. And we would get there and we would die. And the people who were quote unquote teaching us, who also had 0 KC, by the way, they just watched people do it on Twitch, would just stand under Verzik and die because they thought it was a wipe. It's just like you feel bad for dying. And as a special shout out to you guys in particular for this event, I don't think anybody felt bad for dying and making a mistake. I think the amount of times where I was running with learners as a helper or as like a helping teacher or what have you, and the learners would die at bloat and they'd be like, you know what they say, bloat deaths don't count. Like, that's fantastic because you're right. Bloat deaths don't count. Mithril Fork says, I got my first 34 Tob KC this week. Mithril Fork also fucking murdered me at bloat at least once. So shout out to Mithril Fork for sending the flies. I think I flied his ass right back in the next raid and killed him by accident.
It's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys did fantastic with this event. The planning, the coordination, and most importantly, the learners coming out the other side confident in the content, even when they're getting their asses kicked. Because that does it, as someone who was not confident whilst getting his ass kicked in Tob, it really does mean the world to them in a way that you might not understand. So, boss tutors and TNL, you guys fucking rule. And I think we're going to do another one of these within the next couple of months. Word on the street is it might be Chambers. It might also be CMs. Who knows? Maybe if we're lucky, it won't be TOA. You know, that's all we can really hope for.
Honestly, TOA would be that's why I didn't vote for it, but TOA would be kind of hard to do in a standardized way unless you run like variety raids where you switch up the invocation every time. It's like it's hard. That's why I didn't vote for TOA. I voted for Chambers because it's like, well, you could do like baby CMs or you could just teach CMs. There's really no.
There's a wonderful variance with Chambers where there are some people who really are really good at Chambers and they have never done a CM before, and it is not the same thing. CMs are one of the few pieces of content in the game that I really think are more gear locked than anything. Like, you at least got to have a BOFA for CMs. Like, you can do it with anything, but you're going to have a pretty mid time if you do it without a BOFA. IMO.
And there's the time aspect too.
Yeah, and I think that's why, because there is the time aspect. Like, it's not that you can't complete the raid in time with a blowpipe and an RCB and a regular whip and a fucking Trident of the Seas. Like, you probably can if you're good at it, but if you're not good at it, you're not going to have enough DPS to make time. So I feel like CMs are a little bit more gear locked, but like I said, Chambers has such a wonderful variance because like every bingo, ask my boy Nate, every single bingo, we take learners to Chambers who have never stepped foot in a raid before. We've taken so many who don't even have Beneath Cursed Sands done, haven't been tainted by the tombs to Chambers. And, you know, we have a great time doing those learner raids, but that's a very different kind of teaching than CMs, right? CMs is like teaching on the fly. And I think the ability for people to come in and be like, I have 600 Chambers KC, but I have 6 challenge mode KC. Teach me how to do CMs. And then we get some like elite gamers to do some 3 to 5 man CMs. I think honestly, 3 is a pretty comfy scale for CMs. It's like a good trio CM team with 2 talented CMers who know how to like guide a learner. Because the challenging part of challenge mode isn't the content, it's inventory management, when and when not to grab supplies, when and when not to bank, making sure you have the right shit in your inventory for the next couple of rooms so you don't have to waste time at the chests. Like it's about saving time. And then Olm is kind of disrespectful. Olm will hit you like a 45 through the proper prayer. CM Olm is a bitch, but it's very doable. So I think if Chambers wins out over Nex, that's cool. But we'll know by now. You guys will know eventually.
I think if you were asking for my 2 cents, as an event that was strictly supposed to get people into Chambers, I don't think CMs would be the play. I think baby CMs probably. But the thing about CMs, Voltara asked in the recording booth chat, he said, what happens if you don't get the time? Well, you have less of a purple chance because you don't get the bonus points and you don't roll the kits in the dust. So if the goal in the raid is to make the time, then you can't sit at Ulm for 35 minutes and give a PowerPoint presentation. So it would be tough. And at that point, just run the full raid layout so that you can sit there at each room and give the full explanation. And there's not this pressure of like, well, we're just doing a harder raid to not even have a chance anyway.
Okay, but I think this got brought up in one of the other like chat mod chats or the planning chat or something that like, oh, well, if we do CMs, it'll do this. Let's just do both.
Yeah, both
we can just have people sign up for 2 different kinds of interests. And if somebody with 0 KC in both says, I really want to learn how to do CMs, our lead boss tutors, who are mega gamers, by the way, will be able to look at them and respectfully be like, hey, I don't think you're ready for CMs if you've never done a regular Chambers. Unless it's like, this is your Iron Man and you've done 1,000 CMs on your main. Like, we'll be able to tell you no. So, like, theoretically, on the sign-up sheet, we can say, what kind of content are you interested in learning? Are you interested in learning regular Chambers, scaled Chambers, regular CMs, or the Mickey Mouse CMs, where it's the regular Chambers damage, but all the same CM layout stuff? And I think we just give those options for people. And, you know, eventually, because you know how cool that would be to amp people up over the week? We had a learner in this top event, Sudaloo, who we'll talk about here in a bit. Motherfucker rolled up with Oathplate, Blood Torva, Infernal, and Quiver max capes, Scythe, 0 top KC.
What?
Solo content only.
Oh, okay.
Solo content only.
That makes sense.
Rolled up in God tier armor with, I swear to God, 3 or 4 KC when I did a raid with him. You can have people like that who, someone like Sudaloo, as an example, if you do 5-10 tobs a day with very talented teachers and you get comfortable with it, that's someone who I'd be like, you want to try out hard mode? You know? Like, and to see that progression of someone who has a lot of base skill set from other pieces of content in the game, go from regular 5-room chambers that are pretty comfy cozy to like, let's try a Mickey Mouse CM to like, you want to try a real CM and feel the difference. And it doesn't feel like there's much of a difference. And then suddenly you've just created another CMer out of thin air. You know, that's great.
That's pretty cool.
Because unlike, there's a much lower barrier to entry to Chambers. I'm very excited for the next event. This event went fantastic. Like I said, I've been busier than shit, and I feel really bad that I was not able to do more raids. with people, but the raids I was able to sit in on, and the people I got to watch do content, and the people I got to do content with, this was fantastic. I have spoken way too much in this last segment, Michael. I know we tried to bully you, and I don't think you got any top, Casey, this week. So
No, I was busy.
Yeah.
But I will not be busy if it turns out to be a Chambers week. I won't. I'll make time
to be a helper.
Yeah, to be a helper, because that's just free. That's just free KC, baby. But I think Nico said it best. It was, this wasn't from personal experience. So I'm just like relaying the message. But she said, she called out that it was really cool to see the people who were considered learners at the beginning of the week and progress themselves into the helper role. That, like, you speak of progression and like seeing people, start out with no experience, and by the end of it, they can run. You're like, hey, you want to do hard modes? But like, yeah, it's these types of events. I want to keep doing more and more of them, because outside of like a bingo or skill of the week, this type of event, it's like account progression.
Yeah.
You don't normally get to sit and do 36 TOBs in a week and have the people motivated to do so. But in an event like this, where it's like a whole week is dedicated towards it, the amount of learning we can get done as a clan just elevates everybody. Because like, this is anti-gatekeeping at its finest. Like,
yeah, this is what TNL is meant to be, dude.
Yes. Like, TOB is so gate kept, but we're just like, hey, we got no gates over here. You got 0 KC, hop in, baby.
Yeah, she says she's excited to see the community growing together. This is more than just people learning how to do TOB. This is how like bingo teams and shit get formed. This is how group Iron Man teams get formed. This is how people who are like, hey, remember we learned TOB with those mega gamers? Let's do TOB with them again, because we did it in bingo. Like, if you guys have done a TNL bingo before, you know that like sometimes they can be kind of time gated, and sometimes it can be tough to get everyone in. I know I have done bingos with the best of intentions, with people on my team who I know are capable of teaching and carrying learners. We get collectively 3 or 4 learner, KC, because we got to get the drop. We got to go. We have other things to do, and we got to go. And it can be tough during a bingo, but in an event that is dedicated to it, when you have learners who are ready to go, and just psychotic teachers who are like, I'm not getting up till we see a purple. I'll die over and over and over. And I will do so many white light learner raids. I'm not getting up till we see a purple. That is what the community is meant to be. And this event has been fantastic. So despite my own personal disappointment with not being able to be more personally involved in a lot of the raids, work, practice, I am, again, old man Oxie, you guys did great. Everyone, learners, teachers, helpers. I can't wait to do this again with literally any other piece of content in the game. Despite my hatred, I think it could be useful to do for TOA, but TOA would have to be so much more structured.
I think so. People are calling out that it's going to be better after the rework, which I do think is true.
True.
Hey, a whip.
Hey, a whip.
Just got another whip. It's like whip number 8, I think.
Stop putting them in Death's coffer.
They're going in Death's coffer.
Okay, Iron Man community out there, group Iron Man community out there. Do you guys put your abyssal whips in Death's coffer when you only have 6 to 8 of them? Or do you keep them for the tentacles that we will eventually need to use?
Hey, Oxie, I think you should train Slayer.
What do you want from me?
I want you to train Slayer and go kill Abbey demons. And I can't be the only one.
Whips to not put in Death's coffer. Fear even said you're putting them in Death's coffer. Thank you.
No, Death's coffer is called group storage, but I threatened it one time, and now Oxie's freaking out.
Yeah, because we keep the whips for tentacles. Good God, man.
As the only member with 87 plus Slayer, where are you getting the Kraken tentacles? You got to have the Kraken tentacles too.
That's crazy. I've got people for that, baby girl.
You're so...
Randy earlier said, I'm playing on the group Iron Man. Convince me not to hate it. I said, girlfriend, I'm the wrong person to ask. I was gonna say I might be an award-winning Iron Man, but I am not an Iron Man. I'm a main through and through.
You're an Iron Pan.
That is, I guess that works on a lot of levels for this episode.
Oh, okay.
That works on a lot of levels for this episode. That's a deep cut where if you understand it on all the levels, that's a good one.
You're here, baby. You're meant to be here.
That's what I'm talking. Hey, you're meant to be here in the right place.
Speaking of pans and irons, have you seen all of the AI TikToks I've been sending you, or are you just ignoring them?
Oh, I haven't opened a TikTok message from anyone in a while, but the fact that you're sending me AI TikToks, I'm going to block your ass.
Okay, you can block me.
Somebody tagged me in the Xpwaste chat. I think it was Null tagged me in the Xpwaste chat with like Oxie's getting really creative with taking streaming to the whole new level, and it was that AI generated one about the guy going into Tob.
Yeah.
I was this close to replying with, if you ever tag me in an AI generated video again, I'm nuking the Discord. I was this close. I do not do generative AI. Regulate that shit. Obviously, AI isn't going anywhere. We've opened the Pandora's box. I'm not going to sit here and say, stay off the internet. It's going to rot your brain because those people look like dumbasses nowadays. So, like, AI isn't going anywhere. Regulate that shit before it gets out of hand. Tiki literally gave us a presentation about generative AI and why it sucks. And it was actually the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I did like it. I really did.
In our post bingo meeting, it was great.
I think
so regulate
for shit posting, it's kind of funny.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If the president's playing Minecraft and doing Tob,
yes,
that's okay. Fine. The president's
funny.
playing Minecraft. That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, but it's the implications that we can do that are problematic. It's being used for like shit posting, but I also know that like people are going to watch those videos and think they're real because some people don't have the media literacy, or more importantly, the internet media literacy to know when something is fake.
Honestly, it might be like, because Voltoro just said, like, not gonna lie, the Bigfoot vlogging videos have been hilarious. I agree. And they're kind of funny. But it's also potentially like desensitizing people from the idea of watching generated AI videos. Like VEO3, Google's like generative AI video maker. That shit's scary. How if they don't say it in the video, they're like, I'm fake. If you're just like scrolling and maybe you catch it and you're not really looking for it, it can be convincing. Not to get all dystopian and AI focused, but like I wanted to call and see if you had watched any of them. They're kind of silly.
I haven't watched any of them. I saw a TikTok the other day that was from some guy who's like, that's weird. I haven't been seeing a whole lot of AI generated content on my feed lately. And then it just showed the survivorship bias graphic. You know what I'm talking about? So the survivorship bias, I think it was a thing in World War I or World War II where aircrafts were returning with a lot of severe damage to various parts of the craft. So the people who were designing the aircrafts made those parts more reinforced. But they weren't receiving data on certain parts of the plane, so they figured those certain parts of the plane were fine. What they didn't realize was they didn't receive any data from the certain parts of the plane because planes that got shot there went down. So they never came back. The reason there is nothing on the back of those planes is because if you got shot in the back of the plane, you're probably crashing and not returning for repairs. So if you're like, oh man, there's no AI generated content on my feed anymore, that's crazy. Your plane got shot down, big dog.
It's all AI.
It's not good, dude.
I saw a video. It started out, it was this girl who was like supposed to be a weatherman reporting like a hurricane flood. And she was standing like in waist deep water. It looked like it was storming. And she's like, I'm here at such and such. And then she stops. She goes, I'm just kidding. And then she looks over and a shark swims by. I was like, dude, for the very first split second of this video, I thought it was real. Until she goes, I'm not real. And a shark swims by. I was like, oh my gosh. These the RuneScape AI ones are not good. You can tell they're AI. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Tiki says the dead internet theory is one theory, conspiracy theory I believe in, and I also believe in.
Say that's a little too deep in the weeds to start talking about dead internet theory.
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory when it's true, though.
It's still deep in the weeds for the Xpwaste podcast, man. We're an hour and a half into this shit, and if anyone is still holding on, they're here for life.
If you're still here,
if you've not lost your mind for one reason or another this episode, Nicole said coming up on 4
a.m. We're talking dead internet. Yeah, this is sleepover. And we're slap happy at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear about the dead internet theory?
Oh my God. Michael, let's take these people to break. They've put up with us enough this first half. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's great. Let's do it. Oh, it's my intro. Hey guys,
it's your episode, Michael.
I wasn't supposed to be here. Have a good break. We'll see you after this.
The giant spiders keep ruining my quests. I can't take it anymore.
Tell me about it. I can't even mine without those aggressive scorpions attacking me.
You getting tired of being ambushed by creepy crawlies? Well, look no further. Introducing the one and only Splat Masters. I know I ain't the only one that's been pestered by unsightly scorpions and Alcarid. Splat Master can take care of that faster than a carpet ride to a cactus. And I don't know about you, but I noticed ever since Scurrius broke out of the gate in the sewer, I've been seeing more rats in my house. Splat Masters will come in, set up, and get it handled with our state-of-the-art Splat Master Cannon 9000. And I know what you might be thinking. A cannon? Ain't that gonna tear down my house? Don't worry, we got you covered. Just give us a call with our sister company, Build Masters, and we'll get you set up with a quick repair for a measly 2 million GP, of course. Now, what are you waiting on? You gonna sit there and let these mice chew holes in your walls, or you gonna give Splatmaster a call and we can tear it down before they even get a chance to tear a hole in it? I mean, get rid of the rats. Cut that out. Now, don't wait too long, you hear? I just got one of these prepaid phones with about 4 days left on it. To be honest with you, I ain't had a customer yet, so I don't know how I'm gonna pay for next month. Splat Masters can handle all your extermination needs, from rat to scorpions to the man in Lumbridge if the price is right. So give us a call or send a carrier pigeon if it's been more than 4 days. Splat Masters. We might not hit the mark, but we sure make splat.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. We're going to sell out a little more and thank the patrons. It's not really selling out.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. So at the start of every second half, we take a few minutes to thank the patrons who support us on our Patreon because you guys are amazing. The first time you... Let's everybody just take a deep breath.
We should stay in the episode.
I hate this. If this is the first week that we have an episode and you are in the Wise Old Man tier, we're going to give you a shout out. We happen to have 3 new Wise Old Men patrons this week. So big shout out to Thugart, Buckets, and Skull MN. And a special shout out to Nicole, who unsubscribed and then resubscribed mid-episode. So our secret 4th shout out is that one. We love you guys. The Wise Old Men are on the screen now. Thank you so much to every single person in the Wise Old Man tier. Nico said, no. You're up there, Nico. I removed you for a split second, and then I re-added you just in time for this graphic to go out. Thank you so much to the Wise Old Man patrons. You guys are amazing. Shout out to the days when we used to actually shout every single one of you out, but your numbers grew too numerous. So you graduated to my favorite employee. You're our star employee. And now you're just like a name on the screen, which is great. So thank you to all the Wise Old Man patrons.
Way to really sell it, Michael. Holy shit.
My favorite thing about the Wise Old Man tier is it's the first time you get actual access to the recording booth. So you're here with us. You're doing it live. You just watched me fumble over all of that nobody else got to see, unless it's a cold opener. Who knows? Editing Michael may get spicy. But yeah, you're here with us. You got to see it all. You get to see it all, and it starts at the Wise Old Man tier. So thank you so much to everyone in the Wise Old Man tier. We appreciate you. We love you. Moving on over now to the KBD tier. That's our second shout out tier. And I'm just going to get right along with it. Big shout out and so many thank yous to Six Sticks Insider, Brooks 70, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad. Happy Father's Day.
I was just supposed to say, Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Cloud Kicker, Elite Oreo Dunker, Jax, Hollylist GIM. He didn't put that. I did. Sorry, Jack. Jax GIM.
Wow. Harsh.
JX Riot, Lil Drakey. Third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph. I had to look over and see if he's in the booth. I don't think he is. We're good. Run Metal 15, Rylithian, Sparky Life, and the Big G Jordy. Big shout outs to the OG shout out tier. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the KBD tier for all of your support. We love you very, very much. Moving on now to our last shout out tier, and that is the Tiz Talk Jad tier. This is also the merch tier. More on that in just a second. But first of all, shout outs. So big thank you. Big thank you. And big shout out to Captain Crash, Flood Day, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Oxie's Satanic Femboy 666, Petite River, Rain Falls Red, Soggy Waffles, the S Tier Deviled Egg, holding out strong 8 months later, still repping the deviled egg.
Mhm.
And finally, Woloznik. Again, thank you so much. If you're in the Jad tier, the merch tier, as I just teased, if you're in the Jad tier, for every 3 months that you are concurrently subscribed, Patreon will send you the Jad merch. It's exclusive to the Jad tier. It's designed by Oxie and I, and we think you're gonna love it. So every 3 months that you subscribe, you'll get a shirt. You'll get a shirt in your inbox or in your mailbox. If you don't want the shirt for some reason, or you don't want the merch, just don't put your address in Patreon. They won't send it to you. They can't, actually. So
If you don't want the shirts, save your money and don't subscribe to the Jad tier.
That's true.
It's my best advice to you. You know how you can
Very
save
true.
all that money on a shirt? Just don't subscribe to the Jad tier. I don't know.
If you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Xpwaste. We have many different tiers that you can join at. Oxie likes to say it, so I'm going to say it. You can join for free. I don't know what that does, but you could just like follow us on Patreon. So it would actually make sense if we posted on Patreon like it was a social media, but we don't. So there's no like free content that you have access to. But if you want to follow us there for the random day that we might, you can do that. And maybe Patreon should be our social media. Maybe we should just like post on Patreon. Who knows? That's going to do it though for the Patreon shout outs. Moving on over to our community question, where we asked you if you could design an island and make whatever you want on the island and give it a cool name, what would it be? Starting on Spotify, Fizzman15 says, I'd love a triangle-shaped island called Bermuda, where random low-value items spawn on shores relatively frequently. That's a good little head nod to the triangle. Next up, Aiden Hyder says, I would create an island called Nothing Noteworthy Atoll and have it be a forward operating base for the penguins. Make it with a little lookout tower that you can infiltrate for thieving XP. That's cool. Nothing Noteworthy Atoll. Very, very cool. I don't know how to say this next one, so I'm just going to try. Yovlis? Yo Elvis, maybe? It's all one word. Yo Elvis? Yovlis? They say, Red Token Island. The developers know nothing is on the island, and nothing on the island has a red token, but the hunters will never believe that. Yes, I would love to see that. And finally on Spotify, Caleb says, I would love to see a mid-game or late-game boss that's 1-by-1. The island would be the Locker, Davy Jones' base. You fight Davy Jones and his crew. Maybe some of his crewmates are shooting cannons at you. And Davy Jones is primarily melee. His unique would be a very sweet sword. Very, very cool. And then somebody actually replied, you guys can do this. If you go on Spotify and you see a comment you like, reply to it, because that's a new feature for Spotify. Widgedram says in the comments, they say, it'd be nice to see players get cannoned for once. Oh, I'm sure Sailing is going to introduce lots of players getting cannoned. So we're ready for it. Moving on now to our YouTube replies. There's not as many here, but we're gonna ask you the same question. If you could design an island, put whatever you want on it, call it whatever you want, what would it be? Justin says, at 90 Sailing, you unlock a quest. where you have to sail to find third age tablets, 3 of them. The tablets, after you learn how to translate them, will lead you to an ocean location where an island will raise up out of the sea. On this island, you'll find one of the angelic vegetables that give your character a buff, maybe +2 max hit or 10% reduction damage, such and such. Plus some resources and other activities on the island, maybe a boss encounter required to get the vegetable. After the quest, this can be redone once every 2 or 3 weeks to get a new angelic vegetable. The buffs last until the island can be found again, but it changes each cycle. Tablets will be random islands each cycle, but will be the same for all players to encourage community location. Let's call it Island Laughtail. Let's call the island Laughtail. There's a reference in there, and I'm probably dumb and I don't get it. Do you get it?
No, I'm also dumb. Oh,
Okay,
Straight Butchering the best anime ever is a One Piece reference, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, D4 Drake says straight butchering the best anime ever. Oh, Soggy Waffles even said it's from One Piece. Cool. I'm sorry I didn't get that.
Listen, we might be a little gay and have a RuneScape podcast we do semi-professionally, but we're not fucking weebs, okay? Don't ever accuse us of that. I won't be having any of that.
As fate would have it, that's the only reply on YouTube. All the other ones are just people commenting about the episode. I do want to call one out. We do a mini segment here where we just read the funny comments. So Ben says, "Why would I want to kill elves? Have we all forgotten Morning's End Part 1 and Part 2? I will always do my elf tasks."
Fair enough. I actually saw someone post in the Xpwaste chat that like the idea of dredging under the water, because we talked about like the deep sea dredging or whatever. They mentioned that could be a really good like opener for Raids 4. They said something that like if we do like the sea dredging or something, the trawling, whatever it is, because that deep sea dredging, as we said, is very detrimental to the environment. Let me pull up in the Xpwaste chat who said it. Somebody brought it up that like that'd be a really cool way to introduce. Oh, okay. So Iron Locke says the chat about dredging and the environmental effects in universe. The repercussions could be uncovering something that wasn't supposed to be found at the bottom of the ocean, and that's the setup for Raids 4.
Oh,
we're like, hey, you fucking idiots! You're destroying the aquatic ecology, and now things are getting pissed off. And you awaken some like ancient eldritch underwater force. That would be a really cool way to do it.
Let's go. That'd be cool. Honestly, it could be even thematic for a quest, because maybe they could make dredging or underwater trawling quest locked. You have to get to a certain sailing level, and then to even learn how to do the trawling, you do a quest, and that quest is a precursor for the raid.
Could be fun.
Guys, that's going to do it for the community question. Thank you so much to everyone who answered last week's question. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be...
This week's community question, I'm actually going to give it to you this time. It is, what are you looking forward to doing in the Pride event in 2026? Because we're not getting one this year. What are you looking forward to with the Pride event in 2026? Or alternatively, if you went to Pride IRL, how's it going? How did it go? Was it fun? Are you looking forward to going to one? Yeah, it's going to be a weird community question. Michael will word it some of the ways when he posts the episode. We'll figure it out. So,
yeah, hell yeah. So you can answer that question on the comment section on Spotify or under the pinned comment as a reply on this YouTube video. I'm going to toss it on over now to Oxie for Achievement of the Week.
It is time for Achievement of the Week, folks. We're going to kick it off in the skilling category this week. We have some cool achievements. Kicking us off this week, Fish achieved 99 rune crafting. Bros of Stalin achieved 99 cooking and 99 wood cutting. You thought you'd be slick by mentioning that you forgot to post your first 99. Got you, bitch. You get shouted out for 2. B Daddy Casper got 99 herb lore. Ben Dover, please, achieved 99 mage. Springo 25 achieved 99 range and 99 hit points, as well as 2k total level. Weft achieved 99 strength while dying mid-TOA at Wardens. That was pretty funny. Bass Mike Jr. achieved 99 Slayer. Apex Wolf achieved 99 crafting. Biggery achieved 99 fire making. Saga 7 achieved 99 fishing, closing in on the max cape. Iron Dice achieved 99 farming. Doombar achieved 99 fishing on the alt after 5 months of being AFK. And Ratty Cole achieved 99 crafting as well as 2200 total level. You guys are gaming. Moving on over to the combat achievements section, we have one achievement from like basically all of our normal categories, funny enough, except for combat achievements. So kicking us off, DS Crete Discreet 1 got their first fire cape this week. Iron Burps killed Gauntlet for the first time. Def Not Ruben achieved his Missouri kit this week. Coach Beard Gecko achieved his first ever quiver this week. Pseudoloo, I thought I was getting roasted for this. Like I said, I'll talk about him later. This is the later part of the episode. Pseudoloo achieved Blood Torva. I did not see this in the levels and achievements chat. I showed up and looked at the board and saw Pseudoloo had 4 KC at top. I was like, okay, he's a learner. And then he was in everything. Oathblade, Blood Torva, Quiver Max Cape. And I thought the people in the booth, or the people we were doing the raid with, they're like, oh man, that's crazy. 4 of us are on the raid and 3 of us have quivers. 1 of us doesn't. Wonder who that could be. It's not the learner. I'm like, F you guys. You guys are the worst. And then they're like, yeah, this guy's got Oathplate and Torva and all that. And then Pseudoloo doubled down and he's like, not Torva, Blood Torva. I'm like, I really will just go F myself, huh? I don't have Blood Torva. I can't afford regular Torva. I still don't have a quiver. This shit sucks. I find out at Bloat Room that he got Blorva like a couple hours prior to that raid. I thought he just like had it. Then he's like, yeah, I just got it. Of course I have to flex him. You're like, wait, you got that today? Hold on. Back up. That's super cool. I thought you were just shit talking me the entire time. So Pseudoloo, congratulations on getting Blood Torva. And then finally this week, after over 50 attempts, Morale, M Oral in Discord, has achieved their first Infernal Cape. Oh, such a good feeling. Such a good feeling to get that first cape. Congratulations to you. Finally, wrapping things up in the skilling category this week, we have a ton of quest capes shouting out this week. Unk Bruz, White Light West, The Devil Egg, and Ninja Crumpet for all achieving their quest cape for the first time. Finally, in the miscellaneous section of achievement of the week, Michael from the Xpwaste podcast has achieved his 20-year cape in RuneScape 3. He's 1 X away from being too explicit to talk about and show on this show. But hell yeah, Michael has achieved the 20-year cape in RS3. So congratulations to you, my friend. And congratulations to everyone who did something awesome this week. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, or you want to show up and bitch about the fact that there's not a Pride event this year, don't think we forgot so soon. Head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Chat about it in the levels and achievements chat. Preferably not the lack of Pride event, because the channel police over here will tell you to move your conversation to somewhere else because he's a little notorious for that. But show us all the cool stuff that you're doing in game. It can be any achievement. Base 60s, you finally got that level you need for a diary, post it. You got Blood Torva, post it. You got a quiver, post it. We want to see all of it. We really do. Head over to our Discord. Objectively the best community in the world. I think the Raiders have finally taken a break. I know we usually talk about the Sunday Raiders. It's 11:30 at night. The Sunday Raiders have been in VC all day, every day for 8 days straight with this top event. And I think it's time they finally rest. So show up. I'm telling you, show up. It's worth it. You will not be disappointed. Best RuneScape community ever. Michael, we're closing in on midnight Eastern time. And I think it's time we get to closing this episode. But before we do that, I have a question
for you. Do you have a fun question for us this evening?
Goddamn. Can I finish a thought? I'm sorry the middle of my sentence interrupted the start of yours. That's crazy. Anyways,
I wanted to flip the script because at the beginning of all of this,
yeah,
you
you'll
told
finish
me
the sentence one day. Good job.
I had, gosh, I hate you. You said I have the Patreon, I have the community question, I have achievement of the week, and a fun question because Michael thinks I'm not going to do all that. So you do have a fun question for us, Oxie.
It would have been much better content if you let me finish my sentence and transition into it properly. God damn it. Anyways, the theatrical nature of your favorite co-host aside, I do have a fun question for you this week. It comes from Discreet One in the Discord in the Xpwaste fun questions chat, which you can access by signing up for our Patreon at any tier. Anyways, plugs aside. Fun question. Not sure if it's already been asked. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's already been asked either. We've done almost 200 of these. Ask away. If given full power over the game, what failed update or failed poll in the past are you pushing through? And what update passed that you're pulling?
Ooh.
What is an update that passed that you are pulling? And what is an update that failed that you're bringing into the game anyways?
Oh, gosh. My memory is a steel trap. I'm going to let you guys know that, especially at 10:30 at night after I've had a long day. The steelest of traps. I remember everything. But tonight, I don't remember any of the updates that have failed that I really liked. I'm just going to be honest with you. The Mimi one that comes to mind is like giving Piers chivalry because Jagex just likes to shoehorn that in every chance they can. They're like, hey, should we add this new boss and give the Piers chivalry? No. Okay, that failed. Frick. Okay, should we give the players overloads and add chivalry to the game? No. Okay, well, that failed. So I would give the Piers chivalry. Tiki, you're banned. Tiki said Wrathmaw. Tiki, you are banned. I'm sorry.
That is okay. I'm sorry. That is arguably the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. That's the worst take. Tiki saying he would push Wrathmaw through is the worst take I've ever heard in my life. And Nicole is in here talking about how she would push shamanism over sailing. Wrathmaw is the worst take I've heard. Tiki, honest to God, might be kicked out of the Discord after this. He genuinely might. We're going to take the keys from him, kick his ass out. That was horrible. Anyways, oh boy. That's a tough one. I know D4 Drake says give us stackable clues. That'd be pretty good. Stackable clues would be a pretty good update. Thinking of something that didn't pass that like could have, that really would have messed with the game in terms of like a Jagex trying to shoehorn updates. I would just make the VLS a part of the main game. They have tried the VLS so many different ways, and it fails every single time because it gets downvoted by people who don't PvP. I would just blanket add the VLS into every piece of content in the game and just derail what we know a special attack weapon to be. Void Wake or who? Let's just add the VLS into the game as a failed update. An update that passed, I don't think I'm going to pull it, but I think it would be interesting to see if it has the same weight. Let me look it up. Let me see here. What poll do you come from, sir? The poll from December 18th, 2014. I would remove the name Zulrah from the poll. And I would see if Baloki, Duserpus, Ator, Daizura, or Kines would win. That's what I would do. Because if you look at this poll, it's literally called Old School Snake Boss Name Poll. It's one question.
Oh, that's cool.
All the other ones have like 1,500 to 1,900 votes. Zulrah has 1,300 or 13,000.
Oh,
like Kines is kind of close with like 6,000, but Zulrah blows the other names out of the water. There are 6 potential options. Zulrah gets 51% of the votes. So like just for laughs, what name are we picking? Yeah. If it's not Zulrah, I'm pulling the name. What name are we picking? Just for laughs. We're going to see what happens. You all thought I was going to pull Iron Man mode, but I'm not that disgusting. Without the Batman, crime has no punchline. So Iron Man mode is safe.
Oh, but that was a poll, wasn't it? I found a really interesting Reddit post that goes through from like all the way back to 2013. I don't know when this stops, but they list out things that like were close, that were interesting. And one of these questions got me. It's they pulled this. It says, if gargoyles are added to Neve's cave, should they be permitted to use a cannon on them? And it failed. People didn't want it. That would have been so hype. I know it's not thematic, honestly, but like it's cool.
That would have been absurd XP, I'm sure. Oh man. Tiki just said I'd remove everything from poll 194. Poll 194, I'm pretty sure that was that's like post blowpipe nerf. Oh. And you want to know what comes with this one? I'm pretty sure what comes with poll 194. What is it, Michael? What item entered the game following its confirmation in poll 194? Question 4. Bow of Fairhinen to be added to the game. That's hysterical. That's a deep cut. Sorry, Tiki, we're not getting rid of that one. There was one that I just thought of that I thought, man, I really like that one could have been good to remove. I'm totally blanking on it now. What I could remove.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know this is the same Reddit thread. It says loot share system, which gives everyone in a team a chance of receiving big drops from the boss. Should loot share be added to old school? It failed with 74%.
Damn.
This close.
That could have changed. Could have changed a lot, dude. That definitely could have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what would be interesting? Where's the original poll that I want to see? So what I want to push through is the Heka of Tumekin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the original concept for it.
Tumekin's
where it
Heka
changes.
Yeah. Tumekin's Heka was a proposed powered wand requiring 85 magic belonging to Tumekin, the head of the Menifide Pantheon. It was given to Pharaoh Osmumton by Elidnus, blah, 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 blah. Let me see. Spell mechanics. Like powered staves, Tumekin's Heka has a built-in magic spell that can be used to cast regardless of spellbook players used. But the charged attack mechanics, this is where it became interesting. So Heka's charged attack also carries with it a secondary effect that is dependent on the player's active spellbook, where it got 10% damage increase with the standard. The charged attack would strike a 3x3 area of effect around its primary target if you run Ancients. On Lunars, the Heka's attack range increases to 7 squares for all attacks, and the charged attack will heal up to 5 allies along the path of the spell by 5% of the caster's current magic level. And then on the Arceus spellbook, at the cost of 3 prayer points, the Heka's charge attack will drain 5% of the target's magic level, capped at 20%, and boost the caster's magic level by 50% of the drain levels from the target, up to a 15% increase in the caster's magic level. So weird as fuck was what it was going to be. But
So
just because the shadow's been
complicated.
such a problem child, what do we see? Just for laugh. You know? Yeah, the old Heka. The old Heka with the old Elidnus ward. Ugh, what a time.
So it was going to be a one-handed, right?
It was going to be one-handed. The Elidnus ward was going to be useful. That's why the Elidnus ward exists, people. Because the Heka was going to be one-handed.
Remember when I bitched about that?
Yep.
I was like, every time, like they made the ward and they made the shadow two-handed. It got pointed out to me that they've done that in every raid.
Yeah.
Coxley have the bow with the buckler,
Mhm.
and then in Tob, they have the scythe with the Navernic.
Yeah.
They've done it every time. So it's kind of stock standard.
Exactly. Nicole said, can't believe they robbed it from us. What the hecka? I think it's where we got to wrap the episode up. I think it's
Gotta
just
wrap
time to hard ban everybody here, shut down the booth for good, and go to bed. It was a fun question. That's a fun question where I feel like we could do an entire episode on it.
Should.
If we did some research.
We should.
If we did some research into the polls. Because like Off the Dome is a lot of fun, but we could do a whole episode on failed poll blogs that like we could make the Xpwaste second chance poll. That could be an episode.
Ooh, okay.
Who knows? Maybe
Well,
not
thanks,
for
Discreet.
episode 200, but maybe.
Isn't this 200?
No, this is 199.
Oh, we're getting close.
Yeah.
I'll see you in Texas next week. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say,
No. So, yeah, show up for episode 200, guys. Thank you, Discreet, for your fun question. If you want to ask us a fun question, there's many ways you can do that. I think Oxie may have already said that, but you can subscribe on Patreon and get access to our fun questions channel. You can send us a postcard. You can send us an email. You can post it in our Discord anywhere else. You can DM it to me or Oxie, probably me. Or you can literally, if you see me in game, you're like, hey, Michael, how's it going? Here's a fun question. I'll take a screenshot. But the most preferred way is via a postcard. Confirmed last week or the week before, one of the two, it wasn't Fear Garden who sent that postcard from Tokyo, because I analyzed the handwriting and it definitely wasn't Fear Garden. So still trying to figure out if it was Nate Dogg, but nobody's come forward. So who's to say? That's going to do it for the episode, folks. If you made it to this very point in the episode, you're the real one. Appreciate you. You made it through. We're done. If you're a father, thank you. Happy Father's Day. I just got to say it because like today's Father's Day for us. So thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to find out more about Xpwaste, you can check out the description of the episode where we have everything you would ever need. Our shop, our Patreon, our email, the link to the YouTube video that nobody watches. All of it's there. All of it. Literally everything. The P.O. Box address is there too. So check that out. Xpwaste.shop is the name of our merch store. We have all the Pride merch on sale, 15% off. Automatically, no code needed. So it's literally just click on the link, put in your credit card details, hit submit. It'll get to your door. I'm going to be wearing it at some point this month because mine is supposed to be here like next week. So we'll show off some Lord of Dread stuff, IRL, and it'll be great. So again, thank you so much for listening. We think you're awesome. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Wow. If you fucking do, I swear to fucking God, that's the worst fucking thumbnail you could possibly come up with. Holy shit. I was gonna hold up my goddamn dagger and frying pan. And you went, and you're trying to make me think I'm the kid. Wow. Michael out here doing hate crimes. You're absolutely right. Holy shit.